morning, students. So, I am Logesswari from RMDEC College, working as an assistant professor in CSE department. In the Cryptography Network Security lecture series, the topic that we are going to discuss is about malicious software from Unit 5. We already know what is meant by malicious softwares. So, viruses, worms, and trojans and bots are all called as the class of malicious software, which is called as a malware, these are said to be malicious code. These malware contains a malicious code with which will makes our system unavailable or makes our file. It will make our it will erase our files or disrupt or steal. It will allow others to access our data also. So these are all the main things about malicious software. And then, so we have two different types of softwares are there. One is viruses and worms. So viruses would be able to replicate themselves and can spread the copies of themselves. If there is any malicious code means, automatically it will take transformed into multiple copies and then affect the system. Okay. And then a virus may exist on both the thing. Viruses and worms both will occur in the same thing only. Viruses may exist on a system but will not be active or able to spread until a user runs a program. Like we have to click the program, it needs some trigger to open the file. But worms are standalone software, doesn't require any user to trigger the program. Next one is Trojans. Trojans will work like it doesn't produce, like it does not replicate, does not reproduce like that. Instead of that, they open the back door and allow the user to use the system. Trojans do not reproduce us by infecting other files, nor they do not self-replicate. Trojans must spread through the user interaction, such as opening an email attachment or downloading and running a file from internet. Trojans also known to create backdoors to give malicious access to the system. So it makes the users illegitimate users to enter the system. So it will act as a backend. And the next is part of the viruses. So here we have three categories. One is infection mechanism, trigger, payload. Infection mechanisms deals with by which a virus spreads, enabling it to replicate. This mechanism is also called as the infection vector. Trigger, the event or the condition that determines when the payload is activated or delivered. Next one is payload. When what the virus does besides spreading, the payload may involve damage or may involve but not noticeable activity. Phases of virus, which will have dormant, propagation phase, triggering phase, and execution phase. Dormant is idle. Propagation is the where we are going to, it will self-replicate itself. That is the propagation. Triggering is a thing, it needs some function to trigger or call the function, to call the virus program. So the virus is activated to perform the function for which it was intended. Execution phase, the function is performed which is harmless or can cause damages. Virus classification by target, it will contain boot sector infector, file infector, and macro viruses. Boot sector infector infects the master boot record. That is, in OS we will having the master record. It will tries to damage the master record itself and spreads when the system is booted from the disk containing virus. File infector infects the files that operating system or shell considered to be executable. Next one is macro, infects the files with the macro code. Macro code is somewhat like just like a function call which will be activated or interpreted by the application. And then we have some other viruses called as encrypted virus, stealth virus, polymorphic, metamorphic. Encrypted virus means a bulk portion of the virus is encrypted by the random key and decrypted by the stored key when invoked. Stealth virus is a form of virus explicitly designed to hide itself. Actually, stealth viruses can't able to detect by the even by the antivirus software itself. And polymorphic is that it will mutates for each and every detection. That means it will change the signature. It will change its formation, transform its formation. That is polymorphic. Metamorphic is that it will mutates, it rewrites itself completely at each iteration, increasing the difficulty of detection. So these are all the various virus toolkits like Virus generators are there, and then book source is there, macro viruses, and then email viruses. Others and all. Countermeasures means how we can able to prevent from virus. So basic is the antivirus approach, which is a prevention is there, detection is there, identification is there, and removal is there. Four generations of antivirus softwares. So in the first generation, it's just a simple scanner. Second generation, sorry, second generation, it is having integrity checking whether the data has been arrived is correct or not. Third one is activity traps. We make that virus to get infected and then we try to find it out. Fourth generation, fully featured production. Won't allow any viruses to enter in the system. Virus signature. A virus signature is a continuous sequence of bytes that is common for certain malware samples. So advanced methods are generic decryption, digital immune system, and behavior blocking software. So this is said to be the digital immune system. You can see that. So first we have machines like first a virus infected program goes to the machine. Secondly, it will go to that analyze, that is a virus analyze machine. So it will analyze that scan that virus, extract the signature. Okay, so afterwards it will receive that prescription and it will inform to the administrator machine. Once they got that information, it will be they will send the report to the client machine. Once they got it, so they will be propagated to all the client machines. So in this way they are informing the client machines that this program consists of the virus. Okay, so thank you students.